Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Part A POE Teatime, Bite-Sized Learning on Busy Days. This is the third video in our series regarding SNF consolidated billing. This video is regarding Major Category 2. There are 5 major categories excluded from SNF consolidated billing guidelines. CMS does provide a detailed explanation of those categories on their website. I did instruct where to find this document in a previous video, and I will show where this document is located later in this video. I do want to mention how important it is for providers to understand the major categories for SNF consolidated billing. Some major categories exclude services by revenue code as well as bill types. Others by certain types, such as a beneficiary receiving services in a renal dialysis or a hospice facility. Other services are strictly driven by the HCPCS code being billed. As I mentioned, CMS identified 5 major categories of services excluded from consolidated billing guidelines, and I have listed those categories here for you on this slide. Major Category 1 is exclusion of services beyond the scope of a SNF. Category 2 is additional services excluded when rendered to specific beneficiaries. Category 3 is additional excluded services rendered by certified providers. Major Category 4 is additional excluded preventative and screening services. And Major Category 5 is Part B services included in SNF consolidated billing. Let's now dive into Major Category 2, additional services excluded when rendered to specific beneficiaries. Category 2 services are speaking to 2 very specific populations of individuals in the SNF. The SNF patient receiving dialysis and other dialysis-related services, and the SNF patient who elected hospice as a Medicare benefit for their terminal condition only. ESRD services for the SNF patient must be provided in a renal dialysis facility. As you reference the explanation of major categories document, you see there are specific coding instructions to differentiate dialysis and related services that are excluded from consolidated billing for ESRD beneficiaries. Institutional dialysis services billed only by a renal dialysis facility are identified by type of bill 72X. Poetin alpha and darbepoetin alpha are both drugs Medicare approved for use by ESRD beneficiaries. When either of these are given by the dialysis facility in conjunction with dialysis, these drugs are excluded and must be billed by the renal dialysis facility. Instructions for billing renal dialysis facility services is located in Publication 100-04, Chapter 8. To distinguish these drugs given to ESRD beneficiaries from the same drugs given to non-ESRD beneficiaries, CMS has developed separate codes. The instructions for billing for non-ESRD, eopoetin, and darbepoetin alpha are located in Publication 100-04, Chapter 17, Section 80.9. Keep in mind that these drugs for non-ESRD use are always bundled to the SNF for beneficiaries in a covered Part A stay. Now we're talking about the SNF patient who elected the hospice benefit. The hospice treating your SNF patient for their terminal condition will bill the Medicare program on their own type of bill, either an 81X or 82X. The services provided that are not related to the terminal condition will be billed by the SNF with condition code 07. In a previous video, we did go out to the SNF consolidated billing Excel spreadsheet, and I would like to do that again now. As I stated, we will view this file often during this series. We have heard numerous providers state that they are struggling to find codes out on this Excel spreadsheet. So I just like to visit this again. So we are going to go to CMS's website. So let me get that pulled up. And we are going to go to Medicare here to the drop down, and we are going to select coding and billing. And then we are going to go over and select SNF consolidated billing. That takes us to the SNF consolidated billing page on CMS's website. And what we are now looking for is the 2025 Part A MAC update. So I'm just going to scroll down. And over here in the left side navigation, it is listed here for us. So I'm going to click that. And as I stated in a previous video, what this update is showing us is any codes that were either added or terminated from the major categories for 2025. That's what this is showing us. But we are going to scroll down to the bottom of this page to downloads. Now, here is that document I was talking about for the explanation of the major categories. And then this first link is the actual Excel spreadsheet. So I'm going to click that. You do have to save this to your system. So we have done this already, but we'll go ahead and do that. And then I am going to go ahead and open that. And we are going to click on this first one, the January 2025 SNF CB update. And that will bring up the Excel spreadsheet, which we have right here now. So on this Excel spreadsheet, you have the HCPCS code, a short description of the code, and what major category it is under. So since we're talking about category 2, let's say we are looking for code A4927, which is gloves non-sterile for dialysis. A way to find that code is if you use Control F, then this search pulls up for you. And I'm going to type in A4927 and hit enter. And it takes you directly to this code. So again, here is the code. Here is a brief description of the code. And then this is showing us that this is major category 2, subcategory A. Okay, so let me go ahead and get out of these. I apologize. All right. So I do want to take a moment and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to review this video. The next video in this series will be on major category 3, additional excluded services rendered by certified providers. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.